Hi, welcome to Leap Taken. This is Nika. Here at Leap Taken, I talk about all things witchy, craft-related, law of attraction, manifesting, esoteric, and everything else in between. And today I want to talk a little bit about what type of magic should you be doing at this time of year. If you're someone who would like to do magic by the will of the year, you might want to watch this video and just stay tuned a little bit for the information I'm going to talk about. The reason I prefer to follow the will of the year is, one, I feel like it has a little bit more authenticity to it, as far as how, I guess, those who came before me would have practiced, and that's important to me. Also, I feel like it's a very natural experience to do so. I would not be doing, I'm trying to think, without going, well, I'll get into it in a minute, the type of spell work and magic that I do now, but the type of magic that I would do, let's say, in summer is not what I would be doing in the fall, let alone in winter. So summer magic spells, using certain color magic where, maybe I'm using an orange candle. I typically wouldn't use an orange candle to represent the solar energy, sun, in the winter. Usually I tend to go more, I use a lot of white candles. I use green, red, typical Christmas colors because they have reverence to me at this time of year. And I like to work with the flow of energy, the seasons. It's colder outside. Nature changes. So I think my magic should follow suit because, after all, a lot of what I do, my spirituality, is nature-based. So just wanted to say that a little bit. And the other thing, and I'm just looking down at my notes when I look down, guys. As I was saying, the natural pace of the world slows down. So I feel like the type of magic that I'm doing should correspond with that. I think it's a time to go inward. Let's be still, be quiet, reflective. I think it's time for spiritual work. If you want to work on doing any sort of psychic awareness, if you want to grow that part of yourself, clairvoyance, intuitive magic, this is the perfect time to do those type of spells and rituals on yourself to go in. If you're someone who's into tarot, this is a great time. Maybe keep the Hermit card displayed somewhere you can see it all the time. Because it's representative of a lot of what I'm about to talk about. It's a lot of inner work. Great time to do shadow work, by the way, as well. Read books. Some witchy books to read. This is a great time to invest in those books and invest the time in and actually reading some of those books. Make notes. Work on your book of shadows. Again, it's more about, inner reflective type work. If you wanted to, maybe start doing something and building something, this is the perfect time to do it. Like I said, the natural world slows down. You're not going to be out and about. There's the modern day issues that are happening now with COVID. Of course, it's going to keep you in the house even more. But you can also use that more to your advantage. Like I said, it just supports the season we're already in. So go within and do that inner work. Meditate. Oh my gosh, this is a great time. I did a meditation, I think it was yesterday that I did it. Someone who commented in my videos, Sage Wisdom, I think it is. I don't know. You know what, girl? I'm going to link you. She know who she is. I'm going to link your link so people can go to your channel and do that meditation. Because you don't realize I needed to watch that yesterday with so many things that are going on with me. That was actually super beneficial. And I actually felt the effects of just a release of that energy that I know I needed to release. I felt it leave, and I'm the better for it. Go to bed earlier, unless of course you're really a night owl. But go to bed earlier. Move. Let your body naturally go with the flow of the seasons. Just give into it. Go all in. It's okay. Everything will be there waiting for you. In the morning, you'll get started. But try to yield a little bit more, or I should say flow a little bit more with the season. And your magic, of course, is part of that. So when I say go to bed early and make sure, any sort of routine type of ritual that you do, magically speaking, at night, go ahead and incorporate those a little bit earlier in the evening as well. This is not necessarily the best time to start new things, by the way. So I wouldn't want, if possible, because you can do what you want, but if possible, I would probably not be doing a lot of new, to bring about something new. It would be more about, now's the time to plan. So if you have that energy, plan on the things that you want to come. Now's a great time to start your manifestation work. We're about to come into January. A lot of people are going to be talking about vision boards, starting new planners, this girl. So this is a great time to get to the planning. Again, it's going in because you got to think all this stuff out. What do you want? What are your goals? How do you see them being accomplished? How will you feel once you receive it? You're thinking about all this sort of stuff. So that's, and write it down. Or some visual representation of everything that I just said. Either way, you got to get it down so you have a record and you can go back. So this is a great time to doing all that sort of stuff, as opposed to necessarily just starting something new without a lot of planning. Now, opportunities arise, and sometimes the universe works in ways that are not necessarily what I'm talking about. But that's where your intuition comes into play. That's why it's important to be in tune to your higher self, so that you have a moral compass. You have your own compass on which way to go. And just because things are uncomfortable doesn't mean it's wrong, and that it's the wrong path. You're going the wrong way. There may be a reason for things to be uncomfortable. So just a little side note. But overall, follow that intuitiveness. Let your intuition guide you. And, just go from there. If it's an opportunity that comes and it's something you've already put into the universe, it's just that time. It just happens to be now during this season of rest, but that's okay. Go for it if it makes sense to you. So I don't want to deter you from having a new opportunity, meeting a new person or something like that. But I would caution doing too many new projects and starting too many new things. Planning, yes, just jumping right in right now. If possible, maybe not, especially if you're on a fence and it doesn't feel right. But, I'm not telling you not to take an opportunity either. Getting to my notes here. Okay, so the type of magic that I'm talking about doing is going to include spiritual alchemy, peace, definitely, anything that brings about peace and just overall well-being for yourself and for others. Wisdom, like I said, shadow work is another thing, and I count that under wisdom. Okay, so it can get a little dangerous doing shadow work around this time, especially if you're in a climate where you're not getting a whole lot of sunlight and you're bringing about all these emotions that are typically considered negative, and things that make you very uncomfortable or just make you angry or sad or depressed. These emotions, they're suppressed for a reason. So you want to recognize those emotions, bring those to the surface, shine the light on them, acknowledge them, and then, the next is the plan on, well, what are we going to do with it? Now that I've got them out in the open, I see what they are. Okay, well, only you can answer that question. What do you need to do to reconcile those emotions? There's no such thing as just doing away with it. Sometimes a lot of us have to just learn to live with our shadow side, and that's a lesson in itself, but this is the time to do it. I say it can be dangerous because, like I said, not enough sunlight, it's too dark, that could affect seasonal depression, and doing a bunch of shadow work at that time could really send someone into an emotional spiral. So tread lightly with that. Maybe don't try to uncover everything all at once, and have a plan, a ritual, several rituals in place to basically treat yourself with kid gloves, so that you be very gentle with yourself when you're bringing about all this sort of stuff, when you're being reflective, especially if you're getting readings and you're someone who is comfortable and is able to speak with a spirit, and you're having these dialogues and they're, telling you warnings and so forth, or ways that things maybe could be better or things you need to work on. Just be gentle with yourself. Have a feel safe in place. When I say feel safe, any sort of ritual where you're kind of putting yourself back together again after having, a session where you're really uncovering a lot of truths about yourself that maybe you didn't want to really uncover. Yeah, definitely have a ritual. Where a ritual I would do, or I would suggest in that sort of case, is definitely food. Plan out what you're going to eat afterwards. Yes, it matters. Fueling yourself. Be very careful. Don't go for the junk food immediately afterwards. If you're going to partake in alcohol, do not overindulge. That could have a negative effect. Favorite foods, comfort foods that are actually good for you if possible. Bath, make sure that you're doing a bath. Bring on the aromatherapies, all the good smells that bring the good feels. Scented candles, anointed candles with oils that bring about a sense of peace and wholeness to you. Journal, write everything down. It's sort of like a brain dump, so you kind of get it out and get it down on something else, so your brain, your mind, your emotions can kind of stabilize and relax for a bit. That's important. And, just having maybe some sort of reflective time at your altar space where you can sit and be quiet and download. Just download and just feed that energy. Sometimes I would even suggest getting an object and just all of that came to the surface that feels overwhelming. Make sure that goes into an object, basically encode it. And how you encode it is up to you. I'm someone who I'll just hold, I'm trying to find something in my hand, but I'll just hold an object, whatever it is, and I'll let all those emotions come to the surface. And I diligently, with a lot of effort, because those emotions are swirling, it's hard to concentrate, but I try with all my might to see some sort of light. Your light might be white, it might be dark, it could be any color you want that represents those emotions. Green, and you just see it flowing from your heart, your center, or maybe even the pelvic area, and you see it coming out, coming up, out, through, into your arms, hands, into that object as a way to release that energy. If you're someone who needs to do a little bit more than that, then I would suggest movement, any sort of movement. A lot of people, it's going to be yoga, dancing, just twerk that out. That's what you want to do. This is not something for show and for everyone else. This is for you. So move your body. For some people, it's going to be sex. Getting that release, knowing ahead of time, planning it. By the way, sex magic tend to be just not sought. I notice a lot of people reference, and I do too, as a way to manifest things into your life. And that's great. I'm pro that. But you can also use it as a form of energy release. So if you have something planned, you already know you're going to have sex, so you can make it a solo project. You can take all of that and release it when it's time to release. Anyway, so there's that. But yeah, and just to kind of move forward a little bit, it's a time of getting rid of baggage. So like I said, planning. I'm a girl who uses a lot of planners, so spoiler, more videos coming up on that very soon. So what I would seriously suggest, though, is taking the time to start writing down goals and doing release work for sure. What do you want to release? What don't you want to take into the next calendar year or after this season going into spring? What would you like to leave behind and start anew? You're not starting it, but you're planning to. So this is a great time to sort of think about that from your metaphysical side, your witchy side. What is it that you'd like to do with your practice? How do you want to practice? If you're somebody who seriously have been on the fence on doing any actual spell work, you kind of feel disconnected. I have been there. I know that feeling. Where you just don't feel motivated, and you used to do it before, you were so excited, now it's just blah. It might very well be the season as well. Again, this is a time of rest, so maybe you're not pumping out a bunch of spells for every little thing. Maybe now's the time to reflect, have you wrote all those spells down? Are they in your book of shadows? Maybe instead of thinking about the now, let's think about the later, and let's maybe reflect a little bit more on what you would like to see, metaphysically speaking, in your practice, what would you like to do then? Don't worry about trying to do anything now. Let's just rest, look to the future. Oh, and gratitude. So now it's still a time of gratitude. It's always a time of gratitude, but it's definitely a time now of charity and gratitude and giving. And with that energy, be very grateful. Hopefully you will feel grateful with the magic that you've been given, with the skills that you've been given, with the witchcraft that you have knowledge of, and you've been able to practice. You manipulate energy. Now's the time to also think on that and reflect on that and get the warm and fuzzies thinking about all that you've done and what you can still do, and how you get to live your life with this knowledge, and there's still more to know, you know what I mean? That's an awesome thing to sort of reflect on. You can make that into a ritual, by the way, because you can write things down. You can, like I said, sit at an altar, and, whoever your altar space is for, you can, reflect with them. If it's ancestors, you can definitely do some sort of gratitude spell to thank them for your ability to, psychic abilities, your ability to manifest, your ability to cook kitchen magic and bring about a certain energy in everyone who tastes your food. The potions that you make, the healing energy that you are able to just bring with very minimal effort. It just makes sense to you. Yeah. Now's a great time to do sort of any type of ritual to maybe thank the ancestors that came before you or the elders. Not everybody that has passed on. So you have living elders. They might not be, on the same page as you with witchcraft, but there's small ways that you can thank them. We celebrate Christmas, we give gifts. That's a perfect disguise in order to maybe give them something. Obviously, you're going to put a little bit more thought into the gift, but whatever brings them joy, or if you want to make it a little bit more magical, but to them it will be a mundane, I would definitely say jewelry. You can put that energy of gratitude and thanks and all that sort of stuff, and you can put that energy into a piece of jewelry or something like that, or even a candle, whatever it is, just to show how grateful you are for them, because without them, it wouldn't be you. So yeah, those are my tips, ideas, and suggestions for the type of magic, the type of spells, the type of rituals that you should be doing this season. Hopefully this is inspirational to you and helpful. And if it is, let me know in the comments. Let me know what else you might be doing. If you're someone who is doing your magic by the wheel of the year, let me know. And if you're interested in doing more of that, I'd love to have more videos talking about this sort of stuff as the seasons change. Some of it, I imagine, over time gets repetitive, but there's always something new I can add on. But let me know in the comments as well. All right, so thanks again for watching. I'm Mika, this is Leap Taken. Please like, subscribe, share, and again, if you have already subscribed, I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. I really do enjoy doing this. I love sharing the things that I know, the information that I have, and I love learning from others as well. So please type in the comments as well. Anything else you want to add, I'm receptive to reading it. All right, so thanks again. Bye-bye.